God, who wants to follow that? I'm from Colorado, and so we grew up camping. Some Colorado people, huh? We grew up camping, and my camp was a ranch up in the mountains, and so I spent my whole childhood up there. And a little bit later, when we were old enough that we could drive cars, we did our own camping things. So 8 of my friends, we went up camping, and we went a little early because it was April, but it had been warm. And one of the friends was just my friend. He'd come back from Vietnam, and he had a gun. And he was the only one who had a weapon. And the rest of us are so naive that we're wondering, what the fuck do we need a weapon for in the hills in Colorado? Anyway, we got ready at camp. We didn't take up tents. We were going to sleep in sleeping bags. And we tore the bottom boughs off the evergreen trees. They make great springs on the ground, so that made it a little bit more comfortable. And I had worn long underwear, so I took off my jeans and threw it over a branch. And we crawled into bed. And the thing about camping at 8,000 feet is that the stars are so big, they look like quarters in the sky. And it doesn't look like the sky is big enough to hold them all. It's just a wonderful, wonderful scene. Anyway, I got up early in the morning because I wanted to get my jeans back on and I wanted to pee in private. And I sat up, and there was a light dusting of snow that night because we really had gone up a little bit early for the season. And what I noticed were all kinds of animal tracks. There were the thin, spindly legs of like timber wolves. It looked like bobcat tracks, and like I know what a bobcat track looks like anyway. But when I woke everybody up, we couldn't believe that these animals had walked around us at night. And it was either that we were sleeping and not threatening, or that we smelled so bad they just didn't want to eat us. So my jeans, because they were over a branch, had frozen solid. I could stand them up and they would stand. And so everybody was mad at me because it took an extra hour while I thawed my pants out so we could leave. A short time after that, I finished school and moved to New York City. And the opportunities for camping were not great. But my boyfriend and I, we went up to the Berkshires. A friend had loaned us a real teepee. You think that 2 kids knew how to set up a teepee if you're not Native American? Anyway, we set it up as good as we could, and there was a flap on the top to let out the smoke from the fire or to hold in when bad weather was outside, and there was the front flap. And the wind blew the flap closed on top at the same time that my boyfriend decided to put out the fire by peeing on it. You have no idea what pee on fire smells like. So it pretty much ruined the tent, the teepee. It pretty much ruined our clothes. And we did return the teepee, but the friendship was never returned. What I'd like to share with you is Bussy Woods, mid-September, has a powwow. That's great fun. And you can go up there and see the teepee that I slept in. And I can guarantee you that whenever you see a teepee on a TV show or in reality, you're going to think of what pee smells like in a fire. Thanks.